90-Day Fiancés Sarper posted an update on his stand-up comedy career, and I'm legitimately shocked by it. Sarper Given is in the United States and happily married to his longtime girlfriend, Shakina Garner. It's been a long time coming, and there was almost a point where this relationship fell apart entirely, but now they're together and working on living the American dream. For Sarper, that means being a stand-up comedian, and I'm legitimately shocked to report it seems to be going well for him. I had doubts Sarper would fulfill his dream of a successful career in comedy, especially given past moments on 90-Day Fiancé, where he seemed to lack a sense of humor. I'm happy to report, however, that it seems like things are going well for him, which I think most fans would be shocked by after hearing a recent update on his current tour. In what might be the most surprising 90-Day Fiancé news since I learned Asulu Pula joined the military, Sarper is having some success on his stand-up comedy tour. The Istanbul native, who is occasionally the butt of jokes for other 90-Day cast members, is getting quite a response at the box office for his tour. He also recently announced on Instagram that he had to open up a second show in Washington, D.C. Hello, Washington, D.C., I have good news. My comedy show on August 5th at 7:30 p.m. is already sold out. I'm still getting requests, so we talked with the club and I decided to make another show same day at 9:30 p.m. Those who watched the latest season of 90-Day Fiancé may remember Sarper's first stand-up comedy performance and how quickly it went off the rails. He largely abandoned his script midway through the segment in an effort to start roasting Shakina's old fling, Dan. What started off as mildly funny jabs quickly turned into pointed insults that half the audience didn't understand the context of. Dan and Sarper did have issues going into the show, after some heated conversations that took place between them at social events in previous 90-Day Fiancé episodes. It really led to him bombing the initial comedy show and seemed to put him in the doghouse with Shakina's friend group more than when he revealed that wild weight clause he had for their prenuptials. Apparently, with some practice and no Dan in the crowd, Sarper is pulling in crowds wanting to see his stand-up comedy. That said, I'm sure there are people who also want to be in the same room as a legacy star of 90-Day Fiancé, as it's not like these cast members go on tours all that often. If a 90-Day cast member were headed to my town, I'd feel compelled to see them, which is to say, Sarper, please book more comedy shows. However, it was a quiet evening in Istanbul, or at least it was supposed to be. The sun dipped behind the Bosphorus horizon as Shakina stood by the apartment window, arms folded, tears welling in her eyes. Inside, Sarper paced back and forth, his voice rising with every step. You don't trust me. After everything, you still don't trust me? He shouted, his accent thickening as frustration bubbled over. Shakina turned to him, voice trembling. You're the one who lied, Sarper. You went out last night and didn't even come home. Then you post stories at a lounge with women all over you, and I'm just supposed to smile through it. Sarper scoffed. They were friends. It was nothing. But you twist everything. You're always waiting for me to mess up. This wasn't their first fight. But this time, something felt different, heavier, final. Shakina had given up a lot. Her California life, her business, even partial custody of her teenage daughter for now. All to be with a man she believed she could build forever with. But forever wasn't supposed to look like this. Shouting in a foreign apartment with someone who dismissed her feelings as insecurity. Sarper rubbed his hands over his face, trying to keep it together. You say I'm controlling, but you want to control me. Who I see, what I wear, how I talk. You came to my country, Shakina. You don't even try to understand me. She stared at him, hurt flashing across her face. That's not fair. I came here because I believed in us. But love isn't supposed to hurt like this. We're toxic, Sarper. We're burning each other down. Silence. Just the low hum of traffic from outside. Finally, Sarper broke it, his voice barely above a whisper. Then maybe we're done. The words hit like a slap. Shakina didn't reply. She just walked to the bedroom, quietly packing her things. Sarper watched, heart pounding, unsure if he should stop her or let her go. Later that night, the cameras caught Sarper alone on the balcony, cigarette in hand, eyes red. I thought she was the one, he muttered. But maybe love isn't enough. Meanwhile, Shakina sat at a hotel downtown, face bare, tears falling freely. I came all this way thinking he was my soulmate. But maybe soulmates aren't supposed to hurt you this much. However, the cameras were rolling, the tension was rising, and fans were already buzzing online. The latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé. The other way opened not with laughter or sweet romantic moments, but with silence, the kind of silence that speaks louder than words. Sarper, known for his charm, gym obsession, and no-nonsense attitude, sat on the balcony of their Istanbul apartment, staring blankly at the Bosphorus. Meanwhile, Shekinah, usually composed and confident, was pacing around the living room, her face flushed from crying. What happened? The episode flashed back to the night before, a massive fight that began over something small but quickly spiraled out of control. It started when Shekinah found Sarper's old phone in the drawer. The phone had messages from months before they officially became exclusive, but one particular message was time-stamped just days after she arrived in Turkey. Shekinah confronted him. "Were you still talking to other women when I moved here for you?" Sarper raised his voice. "That was from before you, and I were serious. I didn't even know if you'd actually come, but I did come. I left my life behind. My daughter, my clients, everything for you. I didn't ask you to drop everything. That was your choice." That sentence cut like a knife. Shekinah stormed out and spent the night at a hotel. Now, she was back, but only to pack a bag. In a confessional, Shekinah said tearfully, "I don't know who I am anymore. I came here thinking love was enough. But trust? Respect? I'm not sure we ever had that." Sarper, in his own interview, looked more defeated than ever. "I do love her. But Shekinah wants a level of control that doesn't exist in real life. I'm not perfect and neither is she. But maybe we're not meant to be perfect, just honest." The following day, the crew filmed the most emotional scene of the season so far. Shekinah, with her suitcase by the door, stood facing Sarper. Her eyes were swollen. His were hollow. "I think I need to go back to LA, she whispered. Sarper hesitated. "If you walk out that door, Shekinah, I don't know if we'll come back from it." She looked at him. "I don't know if we should." And just like that, she left. But was it really over? In the post-episode teaser, producers hinted at an unexpected twist. A voiceover played. Next week on 90 Day Fiancé, the other way, Sarper gets on a plane and Shekinah receives a surprising visitor in Los Angeles. Cut to a clip of Sarper at the Istanbul airport, holding a bouquet. Cut to Shekinah opening her front door and gasping. However, Shekinah stood on the balcony of their Istanbul apartment, the city lights twinkling beneath a darkening sky. Her heart was heavy, and her intuition screamed something wasn't right. Sarper had been distant lately, coming home late, avoiding eye contact and keeping his phone face down, always locked. Ever since she moved to Turkey on 90 Day Fiancé, the other way, things had shifted. The chemistry between them was still there, passionate, fiery, but now it was laced with tension. Shekinah had come for love, but lately, she wondered if she had walked into a web of deception. That evening, Sarper walked in, throwing his keys on the table, trying to act normal. "Hey babe," he said, leaning in for a kiss. Shekinah moved back. "We need to talk." He froze. "About what?" "About what you're hiding." Sarper's face darkened, a flicker of panic in his eyes. He tried to laugh it off. "Shekinah, you're being dramatic. I'm not hiding anything." But she wasn't convinced. The next day, Shekinah followed her instincts. While Sarper was in the shower, his phone buzzed. A message flashed briefly. "You said you'd handle it." She's still in the dark. The contact name was hidden under an alias. K. Shekinah's blood ran cold. She snapped a picture of the message before it disappeared. When Sarper came out, towel wrapped around his waist, he noticed the change in her. "Who is K?" she asked. Silence. Finally, Sarper sat down. "Okay. I didn't want to tell you this because I was afraid you'd leave." "Tell me what?" "There's someone from my past. Her name is Kaya. We were engaged before I ever met you." Shekinah's eyes widened. "Engaged? You never mentioned this." Sarper looked ashamed. "It ended badly. She left me for someone else." But recently, she came back into my life, uninvited. She's been messaging me, threatening to tell you everything and twist the story. I didn't want to give her attention. I was trying to protect you." Shakina was silent, unsure what to believe. Later that week, she decided to meet Kaya herself, using the number from the message. They met at a quiet cafe. Kaya was beautiful, poised, and angry. "He wasn't just engaged to me," Kaya said. "We were married. For 2 years. He's lying to you." Shocked, Shakina demanded proof. Kaya pulled out court documents and photos, wedding photos. Back home, Shakina confronted Sarper, her voice shaking. "You lied. You were married, not engaged. Why would you hide that?" Sarper dropped to his knees, his voice cracking. "Because it's my biggest shame. Kaya destroyed me. I didn't think I'd ever love again. Then I met you, and I wanted to start fresh, no baggage. I was afraid if you knew, you'd walk away." Tears filled Shakina's eyes. The lie hurts more than the truth ever could. The cameras stopped rolling as Shakina packed a suitcase. The crew didn't know if this was a break or the end. However, it was a warm, golden afternoon on the Bosphorus in Istanbul. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting shimmering reflections across the water. Sarper had been planning something special for weeks, something that would melt the tension that had slowly built between him and Shakina after their recent arguments. He wanted to remind her, and himself, of why they had fallen in love. As the final preparations were being made, Sarper paced nervously along the marina. The private boat he had rented, sleek, white, and adorned with soft pink roses, swayed gently at the dock. Inside, a private chef arranged trays of Mediterranean delicacies, olives, grilled lamb skewers, fresh figs, and baklava. A violinist waited quietly in the corner of the boat, tuning her strings. When Shakina arrived, her jaw dropped. "Sarper, what is all this?" she asked, stunned. He smiled, walking toward her in a crisp white shirt, the top buttons casually undone. "This, my love," he said softly, "is our reset button." Shakina laughed lightly, trying to hide the way her eyes welled with emotion. "You're full of surprises, aren't you?" He extended his hand, and she took it. As they stepped aboard, the boat slowly pulled away from the dock, drifting into the deep blue. The first moments were quiet, peaceful. Shakina leaned against Sarper, watching the city lights flicker in the distance. The air was filled with the soft sounds of the violinist playing a romantic Turkish tune, blending with the lapping of the waves. "So," Shakina said playfully, "are you going to tell me what you're really up to?" Sarper chuckled. "I've been thinking a lot. About us. About everything we've been through. I know I haven't always made things easy for you." Shakina raised her eyebrows knowingly. "But I want you to know that I'm serious about you. About us," he continued, taking a small velvet box from his jacket pocket. Her breath caught. He opened it. Inside was a delicate gold bracelet engraved in Turkish. "Sansa's ask. Endless love. I know we fight. I know we're stubborn. But I don't want to imagine my life without you, Shakina." She took the bracelet, turning it in her hands, tears now spilling freely. "Sarper, I don't even know what to say." "Then don't say anything," he whispered. "Just be here. With me." As the boat glided under the Bosphorus Bridge, now illuminated in shimmering purple and blue lights, Sarper pulled Shakina close. The two danced slowly to the soft music, the city behind them and the open sea ahead. In that moment, all the doubts, the arguments, the cultural clashes, they faded into the water beneath them. "I love you, Sarper," Shakina finally said, her voice shaky but sure. "And I love you," he replied. "Let's start over. Right here, on this boat. Just you and me." And with the stars above them and the future uncertain but full of promise, they kissed. A kiss not just of passion, but of hope, forgiveness, and the kind of love that could survive anything. Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Amelia. Hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel.